This is a short video showing how to void a prior year receipt in the UAN software. Why would I void a prior year receipt? Well, the receipt was a mistake. It was replaced by a correct receipt, and it was accidentally left outstanding. It requires a different process to void a prior year receipt. I'll take you to the UAN software so you can see how this is done. First, I need to verify this receipt should have been voided because a correct receipt was already cleared. That is not always the case. We'll go to Accounting, Reports and Statements, and Receipt Reports. The receipt detail is the report I need, but I need to change my year to the year the receipt was posted, 2017. Then I need to change the month to the same month my outstanding receipt was posted. You may have to use a longer date range than my example because sometimes a correction is posted many months after the original mistake. I can use the column headings to sort my information any way that helps me locate a duplicate receipt. Keep in mind that the receipt source may not be the same when you're looking at a mistake. I can see that I have 3 $75 receipts in December, and notice how similar they are. 2 checks from Lola LaRue and 1 check from Jack LaRue. This seems very suspicious. Let's take a look at the detail on these receipts. My first receipt is from Jack LaRue for $75 for the town hall rental. I wish I would have put the customer's check number on here. That would have made it easier for me to see. I'll have to look at supporting documentation. If I look at the second receipt, it's from Lola LaRue, and it's also for town hall rental for $75. And it's dated the 29th. So my original post date on the first receipt was the 27th, the second receipt the 29th. If I scroll down to the third receipt, this is dated the same as the second receipt, the 29th. It has the same information in the same account code and the same amount. I should look at my physical records to determine which receipt should have been cleared and which receipt is the mistake. As I look through my physical records, I find that receipt 149, although from the same family, is for a different rental. Receipt number 150 and 156 look identical. They use the same source, the same revenue account, and date. My rental reservation shows that Lola only reserved and paid for one date. So I need to void one receipt from Lola LaRue on December 29th. Since I've cleared the receipt number 156, I can void receipt number 150. Keep in mind that you may find a very different problem and need a very different resolution when researching your outstanding prior year receipts. Now that I know which receipt should be voided, I want to print the report with only the detail I need. I need to know what fund received the revenue on this receipt. You should print this report to keep for your next audit. In our example, the receipt was posted only to the general fund. If the receipt had been allocated to multiple accounts involving multiple funds, I would have had to add the total to be adjusted from each fund and enter a separate fund balance adjustment until the entire receipt is adjusted. The second step in the process is to make sure we don't create a compliance violation in the current year by reducing the beginning of year fund balance. I must verify we have sufficient resources that were not appropriated. Under Accounting, Reports and Statements, I go to Budgetary Reports, and from the drop-down list I choose Comparison of Budget and Appropriated. I select the affected funds, and for training purposes, I will display. For this report to be accurate, my total estimated resources column must match my current amended certificates resources available, and my final appropriation column must match the appropriation legislation adopted by my board this year. When these figures are entered in UAN accurately, the variance column shows the amount of resources that have not been appropriated by my governing board. In the example on the screen, we have sufficient variance to reduce this fund by $75. But if you don't see a sufficient variance, before you can void the prior year receipt, your board must adopt legislation reducing appropriations to the affected fund. Reduced appropriations are entered in the UAN software in Accounting, Maintenance, and Appropriation Budgets. You would mark the fund and click Supplemental and enter as a negative the amount the board has reduced your appropriations. Enter the resolution and you can type a purpose in the box. The effective date would be the date the board adopted your legislation. Save and close, and then go back to the budgetary report, comparison of budget and appropriated, and look at a fresh report, and you should see the variance increase. When there is a sufficient variance, you can proceed with voiding the prior year receipt. Again, on this display, you can see I have sufficient variance to reduce my general fund by $75. To void the prior year receipt, we go to Accounting, Utilities, and Fund Balance Adjustment Utility. Click the Add button and read the system message. Fund balance adjustments modify the current year beginning balance and should only be posted if absolutely necessary. In addition, these adjustments are scrutinized closely at your audit, so you want to keep documentation that shows you have done this correctly. Click OK, and we'll complete the form. In my case, the receipt was only posted to the general fund, and I select the adjustment type, prior year receipt adjustment. I select that receipt from the drop-down list and enter as a negative the amount applied to this fund. In our case, the general fund is the only fund that needs to be reduced. I'm going to use today's date in training land, that is 4/10/18, and I'll type a reason in the box. When I'm ready, I post, and the system shows the posted adjustment has been completed. When I close, the system gives me the opportunity to print a fund balance adjustment report. You should say yes. Place the adjustment report with your receipt detail for your next audit. On the bank reconciliation associated with the post date of this fund balance adjustment, you must clear items in two places. It's not time to do my April bank reconciliation, but I'll add one so you can see how to properly clear these items. On the Primary Receipts tab of the bank reconciliation, mark the prior year receipt void by clicking in the box in the right column, representing void. Then on the Primary Adjustments tab, clear the fund balance adjustments associated with that receipt. If you've done your math and the fund balance adjustments accurately, these two steps will not put you out of balance. Remember, these two items will not appear on your bank statement. You must clear them to tell the software the voided receipt process is completed. Remember, when you void a prior year receipt, you have reduced your unencumbered fund balance that was certified to the county auditor at the beginning of the year. Follow your county's procedures and request a new amended certificate. You may want to provide your county a copy of the fund balance adjustment report. And I recommend the resources available for appropriation report. This can be found at Accounting Reports, Budgetary Reports. Resources available for appropriation is the first report on the list. Select all your funds and click Print. I'll display so you can see. You're requesting the county auditor reduce your beginning of year fund balance by the voided prior year receipt. When you receive your new amended certificate, it should match the resources available on this report. There is nothing else to post in the UAN software. I hope the information in this video was helpful. If you need assistance with the steps shown in this video, contact UAN support using the information provided on the screen. All UAN Housekeeping Series videos qualify for House Bill 10 training. If you have any questions about self-reporting your training hours, please call or email your question using the contact information you see on the screen now. This video is not long enough to self-report by itself. If you have only watched this video, you cannot self-report the time. However, if you watch more videos in the housekeeping series and their combined time is at least 30 minutes, you can self-report the combined time.